Hello, this is our introduction to this new school year. It's a brief one. Tonight we'll maybe get to meet some of you folks at the play date, and then we're hoping next Thursday to have our regular parent orientation with food for your children to enjoy at 5:30. But for now, we wanted to make sure you had some information in hand before we start school, which will be next Tuesday. It's an awkward year. We have Labor Day and then we immediately start school. We normally have an extra day to do our parent meeting, and we can't do it this year. So my name is Rob Foote. I'm the pastor here. This is Hope. She's our head teacher and director of our after school program. Hannah, you'll meet if you come to the playtime, and she'll be here also next week as school starts, and then for our regular parent meeting. This is a brief introduction to the most important things that you need to know when your children start at Trinity Lutheran After School next Tuesday. And we wanted to make sure you had access to this information before we started the program. So it's going to be an informal, unpolished sort of Q&A, and I'll raise some topics and then Hope can answer them. And we're going to try to do this in very short order. So thanks for being understanding and letting us shoot from the cuff, so to speak. So first topic we're going to talk about is transportation. We'll talk about some illness protocols, our health and safety. We'll give you a quick introduction to the school day and three important questions that we always ask kids to keep in mind as they're going through school. We will have a larger meeting next Thursday with more opportunity for questions when we get there. And we do appreciate you trusting us to help train up your children as Scripture helps us, informs us to do. So we're going to handle transportation, and I just have a bunch of topics. I will raise them, and Hope will answer them. So what do you do if your child does not arrive on their bus, which does happen on occasion the first day of school?
Sometimes the transportation or the school does have a little slip up, but what we do is meet the children at the door, do a little check-in with them. We take attendance and see how they're doing. And anybody that's missing, we call about. So we call the school to find out what's going on. We call transportation, and we can also call you, the parent or guardian, just to see what's going on. So you as the parent also can do those things. Like if you want to be the one that's like calling us to check and see if your child got here okay, or calling transportation if there's an issue. Sometimes parents prefer to be the one that calls transportation, but we also call. So those are the main things that we do, is check in with the school, transportation, the child's teacher, or you, the parent or guardian.
So usually we know who's going to be picking up the children. We meet them ahead of time. We know them by face, and on occasion you might need a substitute person. So Hope will share the steps we take when we have a substitute person picking up your children.
So in the registration packet, there's a page that asks you to list who the pickup people that you want to have picking up your child are. You list those there, and that's who we call, or that's who we expect to see. If there's a change to that and you have an emergency and you need to notify us by phone, that's okay. We just ask you to follow up with it in writing the next time that you're in, so that we have it for the folder, the file, that person was okayed by you to pick up your child. So sometimes it works out that you have people out of town or sick and are on your list but unable to come. But then you find like a coworker or a neighbor or someone who is able to come, and you just call us and let us know who it's going to be. If we think that we need to ask them to see ID, we'll do that. Sometimes we do, sometimes we know who it is that's coming.
I think that's most of what we need to talk about transportation, and hopefully we won't have any missed bus rides. There is, as we know, we've been dealing with COVID now for several years, and there's a bit of a resurgence, but in general, there are health questions that come up. And some of them are, whether or not your child needs to be picked up if they're not feeling well from our after school program, whether or not even to send your child to school in the first place, and what is our policy regarding how we're going to handle illnesses. So Hope, speak to all those issues regarding health.
All right, so sometimes your child might seem a little iffy in the morning, but they seem okay to go to school, but they worsen during the day and they may go see the nurse. The nurse may call you, or it might not be until the very end of the day when they feel worse. So they get off the bus here not feeling well. So we often ask the child if they have seen the nurse, and we do have a page in our registration packet where you're able to let us know if it's okay with you for us to check in with the school about various topics, one of them being health. So if we, had a concern, we try to get hold of you or the school and talk with the nurse. But when we have them check in off from the bus, we try to assess how they're feeling. Sometimes the students will just be tired. Sometimes they'll be saying that they really don't feel well, like their stomach's upset, or we notice that they really have like that look in their eyes and their temperature of their skin seems elevated. So we would get them a drink of water, we would take their temperature, we would have them sit down and rest. But sometimes it's apparent that the child really is sick and does need to get picked up, in which case we would call you right away for that. Sometimes we just wait and see if it was just the bus ride or things of the day that would just pass. But sometimes there are like throw up or diarrhea kind of issues. Sometimes it's just the fever and the tiredness, but all of those things would be reasons why we would just call and check in with you, let you know how your child was doing, and if we needed to have you come and pick them up, or if we just, had you talk with them and assess the situation if it was a lesser concern.
And typically we don't give medicine, is that?
We
right?
don't administer medication to your child. You are allowed to come to the program and like fill out a paper and administer a medication to your child. But what we can do in certain cases is have a waiver for if someone has allergic reactions to things and needs an EpiPen or needs an inhaler. Those are two sort of emergency kinds of medications that they allow us to do a waiver for and administer. We are a nut-free facility, and we really try to pay attention to the concerns that parents have for their child's diet and follow those as closely as we can. We've been a nut-free facility for many, many years and had a lot of children here with nut allergies. And so far, I'm very thankful. We have never had to call 911 for an allergy reaction, so allergic reaction. So I'm very happy about that.
And there is no official county mask protocol now, but what's our practice with masks and COVID and that sort of thing? So
COVID cases do seem to be on the rise right now. We know several people over the summer that have had COVID. And so just to be cautious, if children do seem sick, and especially if they have a cough, a sneeze, a runny nose kind of thing going on, just to sort of keep that to them. We do have some child-sized masks, and we upon occasion ask a child to wear that until their parent can come and pick them up, just to try to minimize the spread of whatever it is that they have. But overall, we're mask-free and inside and outside, and are enjoying that.
And that, speaking of snack and being outside, why don't you go through the normal schedule as the children arrive off the bus and get ready for pickup?
So as I mentioned earlier, they arrive off from the bus right at the front door, which is locked, and staff is there ready to greet them and open the door for them and allow them to come in. The bathrooms are right there. The coat room is right there, so they can set down their things, hang their coats, change boots to shoes if they need to, depending on the season, and then go right in and use the bathroom and wash their hands, and then head on down in the hall into the classroom area to play. That's our indoor free play time. We end that when we clean up and get ready for snack. And then so we wash hands when we arrive, before snack, after snack, and if we've been outside playing and come back into the building, we wash our hands again then. And parents typically ask their children to wash their hands when they come and pick them up. But after our snack and devotion time, then we usually head right outside to play drop off is at the front door, pickup is at the back door. So sometimes the weather doesn't permit us to be outside. It's like a downpour or really cold wind chill or something, then we're inside playing, but pickup is still at the back door. So you can just drive right down and park there, and we have a sidewalk right to the back door. So that's the
And
basic
pickup
schedule.
is at 5:30. That's when the program
5:30
ends.
is the latest, that's when it closes, correct?
Okay. And once again, I'll remind you at the very end, but next Thursday, we're planning on having a 5:30 meeting, and obviously there'll be a little bit of adjustment time as we're going to be serving food at that time. But sometime close to 5:30, we hope to have both the parents and the kids and whoever would be the legal guardian taking care of them here at the time next week. And we'll have our meeting, and I would anticipate it to be, a little longer. So there are 3 questions that we've been using to help kids guide their behavior. And, every kid is growing up and they're learning about all sorts of socialization and getting along. And there's always a little bit of rough edges to every kid's life. And so what are those 3 questions we ask them to keep consideration in mind?
Yeah, so as we're playing or eating or just, coming and going, we try to ask the children to keep in mind if what they are doing, saying, thinking is kind, to evaluate their behavior to find out if it's safe, and to see if what they're doing is helpful. So there are different ramifications for all of those, but we want children to be interacting with each other in a kind way. Safety is like our priority, and whether we're inside or outside, we really try to make sure that the way the children are interacting and behaving is in a safe way, so that no one gets injured. And then being helpful. So we have some things that we try to encourage the students to participate in, ways to be helpful for each other and for us, for the routine. So there are ways for them to feel useful and helpful.
Okay, those are the key pieces that we want to make sure you get before your child gets off the bus here at Trinity Lutheran Afterschool. We really appreciate you sharing your children with us and with the other students that are going to be having fun together. Next time when we get together on that Thursday, the 7th at 5:30, we'll have time for questions. We'll have some more information about the plan for the year. Talking about also some new recreation opportunities we have for the kids. And we hope to see you tonight, that's Thursday night, as you gather for the play date, 4:30 to 6:30. Is that
Yes,
correct?
just come and go. If you need to come early, leave early, or you're working and you need to come later, that's fine. We're just planning to end at 6:30.
That's the phone. So we have been here collectively a little over 27 years each, and Hannah's been here several years, and we're thankful to have all the staff we have. They're a blessing. So we look forward to meeting you and seeing your children get off the bus Tuesday. Blessings.
Thank you.